1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Hello and welcome to Casey Fields, the City Football Academy. Hello and welcome to Casey Fields, the City Football Academy. If you were here 2 weeks ago for Melbourne City's game against Caroline Springs George Cross, or were watching on the stream, no need to scratch your eyes or adjust your monitors. This is the same venue, just looks different under the gorgeous Sunday sunshine compared to the wet and wild weather that we had a couple of weeks ago. It's a big one today as Melbourne City play host to Hume City. Both sides looking to return to winning ways after defeats last time out. We'll see what is in store on both sides. Quickly run you through the lineups to start off with. 4 changes for the hosts, Melbourne City. Liam Bonatig, Bessian Kuleshi, Lawrence Wong and Matthew Baker dropping out. The A-League men's side taking on Adelaide United at 5 o'clock. We'll wait and see whether or not those changes are an indication of some first-team involvement for some of those youngsters. But Lachie Charles remains in goal. Peter Antoniou comes in, judging on the warm-up, he comes in at right back, which we'll see Isaiah Boston shift to left back. Jaden Nikovsky is partnered by the return to the starting 11 of captain Ryan Calms at the back. Christian Polyzoudis is in midfield, as is Julian Recchia. Fantastic moment for the 17-year-old making his first senior start. Angus McIntosh also in midfield. Aaron Cartwright also a first senior start for him after a maiden goal last time out against Avondale. Expect he and Roland Balla to be manning the flanks with the mercurial Beckham Baker through the middle. On the benches, Tobias Servin, Daniel Matina, Nikola Jurovic, Ben Mazzeo, Dominic Aravanis and Sam Robson. And a couple of changes for Hume City. Back-to-back losses for them after a 6-game unbeaten run, so looking to return to winning ways. Chris Oldfield captains the side in goal with Josh Bingham coming out of the 11. Zahi Addis makes his first senior start of the campaign. And again, based on the structure in the warm-up and certainly how they seem to be shaping up for the kickoff, he comes in at left back, which sees Kota Kadur move to right back. Braden Spink and Aaron Calver continue to man the middle of the defence. In midfield, Burke and Kerdar will look to be creative ahead of Steve White and Aidan Coyne. And then up front, Chris Engelhard, who's had a brilliant start to this season. Godfrey DeBelle comes in up front in replacement of Bingham and Adisu Bayu, who's also made a fantastic beginning to 2026. So we're underway, and City with the long kick-off tactic. Put Oldfield under pressure right away, but Hume play it well out of the press. Coyne knocked it down the line, expecting a runner, and finds one late in Godfrey DeBelle. Does well to get it back into Engelhart. Swings in a dangerous delivery. Subayu was lurking towards the back post, but Lachie Charles happy to watch it behind for a goal kick. On the bench today for Nick Hegarty's Hume, Taylor Shrivers, Josh Bingham, Damon Camilleri, Munib Adis, Frank Bizaza and Eiki Tsukamoto, who was the other change alongside Bingham, falling out of the starting 11. So it's DeBelle in up front and Addis in at left back. Aidan Coyne shifting into midfield, where he's played a couple of times this season, almost splitting his minutes between centre midfield and right back. That's a good win by Christian Polyzoudis. First involvement for Recchia. Expect to see plenty of this from Stuart McDonald's Melbourne City. So comfortable, so slick on the ball, willing to play out, find their way through pressure. Calms. Bit of space to drive infield. Spin cut out the pass, and Hume can break. It was an opportunity for a 3v3. Isaiah Boston did really well to get back and pinch it off to Belle. Excellent reaction from the City youngster. He was caught out in the central area. Addis intercepts that one from Polyzoudis, finds Kerdar. And well marshalled by Peter Antoniou to win a throw-in for Melbourne City. Harms under pressure from DeBelle. Excellent composure between he and goalkeeper Lockie Charles to maintain possession. Bukowski hasn't got many options, so goes himself and then finds Beckenbaker in space. Engelhardt did well to win it back and then shift it on to White. Gets it back from Bayou. White again keeps it with Aaron Calver. Fantastic addition he's been to this Hume City side. See what Coda Cador was trying to do and just lay in Chris Engelhardt down the right-hand side. Just didn't quite have the measure on the ball. McIntosh missed his touch. Beckenbaker in there to back him up and win possession back. That's some nice footwork, but McIntosh not quite ready for it. Kurda into Bayou. Engelhardt's in space on the right, but flag quickly up from an assistant referee, Matteo Brazale. Jack Morgan is in charge of this one in the centre. Experienced referee at not only NPL level, but also in the Isuzu Youth A-League men as well. Didak Lee is on the far side as the assistant referee, and Mackie Lucaris, our fourth official. Harms used Baker as something of a decoy, went out to Boston. Now Beckenbaker has it. Cops some late contact in the back, and perhaps it was fourth official Lucaris who helped out Jack Morgan with the call. Nice first opportunity for Beckenbaker to collect and control in space, and now to deliver from a free kick. Stuart McDonald not too pleased with the challenge and the lack of any further action from Jack Morgan. So it'll be take two for Beckenbaker on the free kick. It's a decent ball in, but Cador heads away unchallenged. Kurda and McIntosh were challenging, and if DeBelle could have controlled and found Bayou, he was in his own half and would have had the entire attacking half to run into. Thankfully for Melbourne City, a combination of a couple of their defenders made sure that chance was nipped in the bud. Great challenge from Carms to rid Kurda of possession. Beckenbaker now to Roland Balla. Good ball in from Balla towards the back post, and it's just over the head of Aaron Cartwright. Beautifully shaped delivery from Roland Balla. And it was similar in construction to Aaron Cartwright's goal off the bench against Avondale last week. The ball to his arriving run at the back post, where he was able to finish with his left boot on that occasion. This one trying the header, but just a bit too high for him. Nikovsky comfortable dribbling out of his own box. That's fantastic. Ball playing from Jaden Nikovsky. Probably had to play it a bit quicker though. And Godfrey DeBelle's in. And it's a fantastic one-on-one save from Lockie Charles. Jaden Nikovsky did the brilliant work initially to dribble away from the initial pressure. Perhaps hung on to it just that little bit too long and had it pinched. And when Godfrey DeBello was played in one-on-one, you're expecting the net to bulge. Lockie Charles continues his outstanding form with a fantastic save. Corners in from White towards the near post. It's flicked on. Engelhardt at the edge of the box. He just scuffed his finish. It fell perfectly for Chris Engelhardt to step onto it and hit it into the crowd. Unfortunately for him, he hit it into the ground and it just bobbled harmlessly wide of the post. So that's a first major warning sign for Melbourne City. A young Melbourne City side with 4 changes, as I mentioned, pre-game. That A-League men clash against Adelaide United at Amy Park in a couple hours. Kicking off at 5 p.m. is a big one. A win will certainly give Melbourne City at the very least a home elimination final. Whether or not that'll be 3rd or 4th place will depend on Sydney FC's result against Auckland FC. That one kicked off same time as this one at 3 p.m, so we'll keep an eye on that score too. Here's Nikovsky linking up with Antonio. Cartwright forced back by Addis. Content to slow the pace down and just control possession around their back 4 and involving Lockie Charles as well. So adept playing in his feet, the young Melbourne City goalkeeper. Nikovsky now with time to dribble again. He was looking for a diagonal. No space apparent. That's a nice ball into Cartwright, but difficult one to control with 3 or 4 bodies around him. Been a really positive start to this top flight season for Melbourne City. Just 2 losses in their first 9 games. A lot of draws, a lot of 1-1 draws. 5 in total from the 9, but 2 good wins. Plenty of confidence for the young side. Chris Engelhardt does well under pressure from Boston. Inside to Coyne. Kadur was making the overlapping run. Coyne instead goes inside, back to Engelhardt. The switch of play to Addis. Time to look into the box and lift it in. It's an easy one for Charles to claim. That's an outstanding pick out from Lockie Charles to play in Roland Bella. Still going Roland Bella. Calver did really well getting across. Getting his body and his arm in front of the City youngster to shield him away and win the ball. Shouts of offside not heeded. Engelhardt can go at Boston again. Looking to go around the outside and wins a corner for Hume. Fantastic energy about the first 12 minutes in this one. It's times where City have got their foot on the ball and slowed the pace down, but when they've wanted to go forward quickly, they certainly have done. It's made for a fantastic start. White delivers from the corner again. It's a good punch from Charles. And it'll go out just next to the corner flag for a throw rather than another corner from the opposite side. Antonio across to Calms. Kowski gets it into Recchia. It's a nice turn and gets the pass out to Calms. Baker wants it on the halfway line and gets it on the turn. Steve White got across really well to shield him away. City staff pleased with the reaction from Beckham Baker, albeit a foul on Kota Kador. Oh, Oldfield can't pick out Coyne. Can only find McIntosh. Polyzoudis to Baker. It's not quite on the same wavelength with Recchia. Spink intercepted, and now Curtis driving forward for Hume. DeBelle. Back to Curta. Kador's arriving on the right side. Curta fakes the pass and went for it himself. Calms made a good block. Really quick and decisive on the counter-attack. Hume in this opening quarter of an hour. We saw that on a couple of occasions last week in City's 3-1 defeat at Avondale. Periods where they're calm and in control in possession, and Avondale just had the quality to finish off their chances on the counter when they won it, particularly when they won it in good areas. But so far, City's defence standing up to any danger that Hume have posed. Boston into Recchia. Time to turn and does so well. Excellent play from Julian Recchia. Just couldn't quite wait the pass perfectly for Roland Balla. Invited Chris Oldfield to come and collect. Made a sharp start in his first senior start, Julian Recchia. 17 years of age. He's captained a number of youth teams at club and international level over his years. He's played 5 senior games for the City Academy. 2 so far this season off the bench. His first start coming this afternoon. 3 goals in 6 starts for City's under-23 side this season. Kowski, nice outside of the foot pass to get Antonio in down the right-hand side. Addis defended well. Antonio competed well to win his side a corner. First corner of the afternoon for the hosts. Good impact from Peter Antonio in his 6th game in the academy. He's played 8 times in the A-League men this season. Scored an incredibly memorable first goal of his professional career in the Melbourne derby, only his 2nd game in the first team. A fantastic finish in that one. It's a deep corner from Balla. Calms was up. Braden Spink rose with him and ensured the ball just lifted high up in the air and calmly for Oldfield to claim. Kadur gets Coyne involved, and Engelhardt. Engelhardt just overhit it, looking for Coyne. Boston was there to make the challenge. Steve White brings it down. Coyne spreads to Engelhardt. Kadur's around him again. Engelhardt still. Now he plays Kadur. Time to cross. First time. Went along the floor and calms his position really well to cut it out. Beckham Baker with a bit to do with Calver at his back. But strong on the ball and makes sure that tackle was only going over the touchline. Everyone was expecting the throw long. It went a bit shorter to Balla. Kadur stepped in to win it. Gets it back now from Kurta. Angus McIntosh with a good I think it was whipped in a little too hard for the Hume number 7 to be able to meet it. Half an hour gone here at the City Football Academy. No goals to report as yet. But plenty of action on either side. Oldfield finds a nice ball through the lines to Coyne. And Kadour's got space on the right. Looking for a runner. Goes for Engelhardt. Showed a little bit too much of it to Isaiah Boston. Calver goes long, looking for DeBelle. Bukowski was there, it went over everyone. Bayou just about kept it in. Antonio with him every step of the way. Nice combination from Engelhardt and Coyne. Kadour down the right. Under hit the through ball, looking for Chris Engelhardt. Some nice direct passing from Hume, but just broke down at the final moment. Polizzutis. Same can be said for him, the Melbourne City number 8. Worked into a nice little bit of space and had a good look out to Aaron Cartwright. Just couldn't get the ball spot on for his right winger. That's nice from Kadour into Steve White. And Coyne, and Kadour wants it again. Coyne instead goes to Engelhardt in the middle. Spreads to Adisu Bayou. The run from Kurta initially is a decoy. Now the ball at his feet. Burke and Kurta looking forward. Chips it in towards the box. Calms heads away. Coyne back in for Hume. Nikovsky can't deal with it. Antonio behind him to flick it away from Adisu Bayou.
Watch Josie, watch Josie!
It'll be Burke and Kurta with the in-swinger from the far side. It's a poor delivery. Bounced before it got to the first man, Angus McIntosh. Kurta will look to have another go. This time goes outside and beats his man. The ball in again is quickly cleared, but just lacking that final bit of quality, aren't they, Hume? Engelhardt tries his luck from distance. A comfortable save for Lockie Charles as it dribbled along the floor. That's a really good challenge from Chris Engelhardt to nick it away from Isaiah Boston. Chris Engelhardt still into the box. Connects with DeBelle. Kurta. So just getting a little bit too tight towards the edge of the box. Steve White makes sure Hume remain in possession though. Coyne. Out to Kadour. Asked for the run from DeBelle and got it and found him. Godfrey DeBelle again flashes one across the area. It's a couple of times now that DeBelle's made that inside to out run and looked to pick out Bayou at the back post, just not quite measuring the ball to Hume's perfection. Good press from Godfrey DeBelle to make sure Jaden Nikovsky didn't have enough time to look forward. Lucky Charles goes long. It holds up a little bit in the wind, and Coyne can win it in a good area for Hume. Engelhardt out to Bayou. Antonio's been fantastic for Melbourne City in this first half. Wins possession yet again, and now he can try to dribble out of defence himself. Touch was just a little bit too heavy, and Coyne was able to get in first and draw the foul. Deep for a kick, too deep and straight into the hands of Lucky Charles. Boston's got a little bit of time to look forward from left back. It's predominantly been playing right back this season, Isaiah Boston, but with a little bit of tinkering and Peter Antonio coming back into the academy side, he's shifted over to the left and played really well through these opening 36 and a half minutes as well. It's a difficult prospect to guard against Chris Engelhardt, the overlapping runs of Kota Kador, those sweeping runs in behind from Godfrey DeBelle as well. Lots of pace and power and quality to contend with, but he stood up well. Oldfield with a nice composed ball into White. Out to Addis. Bayou, a nice jink inside. Coyne onto Kador. Spink. White again in space in the middle. And out to Addis on the left. All the way back to Oldfield, who goes long. Excellent pick out to find Bayou, who got the wrong side of Antonio into Kurta. Tries the switch to Kador. He just underhit it and got it all wrong. Unfortunately, Burke and Kurta. Roland Balla intercepted. McIntosh turns well in midfield and can drive. Beckenbaker's on it now on the left-hand side. Hume getting back in numbers into Recchia. Just out-muscled Julian Recchia by combination of Steve White and Aaron Calver. White goes long again. Engelhardt left it for Kador. I think they were both, Chris Engelhardt and Kota Kador, expecting the other to make the play for the ball. Instead, it bounced in between them and allowed Isaiah Boston to take over. Boston goes back to Charles, under pressure from Bayou. Has to go long. Calver unopposed, but can only pick out McIntosh with the header and sets it forward to Recchia really well. Kador perfectly positioned to intercept the pass, looking for Balla. Recchia takes over again. Baker one-on-one with Calver. Kador getting across the support. Baker beats Aaron Calver. Can only find Aiden Coyne's midriff with his centering ball. Only been able to get Beckham Baker in those sort of 1v1 areas on a couple of occasions, but can you see the threat, the danger that he brings when he's able to pick up the ball in those good positions. Set piece delivery hasn't been too bad either. That's one to the back post. Calver takes command. Kurta, nice feet. Just managed to keep it after the failed first pass to Bayou. The second pass to Bayou is perfect. Adisu Bayou against Isaiah Boston. Gets it into the box. Or towards the box, rather. But can't keep it in play, Adisu Bayou. Charles directing traffic with the ball at his feet. And get away from the one-man press of Godfrey DeBelle really well. Nikovsky. Peter Antonio. Looking to clip one over for Polyzoudis to chase. Did really well to get there first, Christian Polyzoudis. It looked for all money that Braden Spink was going to win that race to the ball. But he chased it all the way, Christian Polyzoudis. Arrived at Melbourne City from the Western United Academy this year, Christian Polyzoudis. Prior to that, had been at Melbourne Victory. Had a really, really good VPL 1 season for Western United last time out. 20 senior appearances and a couple of goals from midfield. DeBelle's on it now for Hume. He finds Kurta. He had Bayou in the middle if he could pick him out. City again defend well. Hume will have the throw right in front of their bench. Calver goes long for DeBelle. It's over his head. It's over Nikovsky's head and into Lockie Charles' arms. See how that ball just hangs up a little bit in the wind. It just slowed down for Polyzoudis. Antonio again, he's won just about every single challenge he's had to make. Gets the friendly ricochet to win the throw in for City as well. Excellent touch from Polyzoudis and the centering pass as well. Engelhardt read the pass from Rekia. Oldfield long to Engelhardt, who won it with two City defenders nearby. Godfrey DeBelle. Yet again making it dart down the right-hand side. Just inside the box. Back to Engelhardt. Kadua's now arriving again in support. Engelhardt looking the other side. Switches to Addis. Zahi Addis the step over and the drive to the byline. Aaron Cartwright stuck with him all the way and made a really good challenge to concede the corner. Just about everyone inside the 6-yard box for this corner. Burke and Kurta will be hoping for a better delivery. It is a better delivery. Flicked on by Braden Spink. No one there for Hume to get the second touch. Carries all the way out to Balla. Long looking for Rekia. Kadua strong in the header. And Calver. And Spink. And McIntosh. Bit of head tennis. Coyne finally brings it down. Finds Bayou. Adisu Bayou to Chris Engelhardt. Back on his left and the ball in. Headed away well by Nikovsky. Baker can't quite connect with his clearance as we'll have just the 1 minute of additional time. Calver with a really nice clip ball over the top to Kador. Isaiah Boston stood his ground as he has throughout this first half. Oh, and then he finds a gutsy but really good pass into Polyzoudis in the middle. It's out to Cartwright. Aaron Cartwright perhaps trying a little bit too much and only finds Aaron Calver. DeBelle to Engelhardt. Curda. Polyzoudis mopping up. And that'll be it for the first half. I think both sides probably with some positives to take, but some frustrations as well from the first half. Melbourne City happy to control possession and dictate the pace and the tempo of the game. Probably had the biggest chance of the afternoon when the young 17-year-old on his first senior start, Julian Rekia, had a free header just atop the 6-yard box after being picked out by Roland Balla. Just couldn't keep his effort beneath the crossbar as it flew over. Hume have had a threat, particularly out wide on the right-hand side on counter-attacks, but the young Melbourne City defence standing up well, ensuring that at half-time here at the City Football Academy at Casey Fields, the scoreline reads Melbourne City 0, Hume City 0. We'll be back after the half-time break. Don't go anywhere. Plenty more to come in the second half.
drive every day. There's the opposite there as well. Doncaster East. Yeah. I've got hills. So the five YPL, or whatever it's called now, and then the seniors and 23s, same as kind of senior pictures. Didn't bother with the 20s team, the seniors. The last year when everything sort of went down with the license and all that, they would have been in playoffs. They would have played Melbourne City. So Melbourne City then beat playing final to get promoted. And then the prior, they were in the playoffs. Oh no, they were no playoffs last year. What were they? I remember on the final day they beat Melbourne Victory, who were already up. But Preston beat Langwarrin, I think. So they went up. Maybe there was no going into playoffs. They started alright. The rest of the team, they lost the first one and then won 3 in a row or something. They've lost 4 in a row now. There's no Melbourne Knights today, so someone's going behind the clouds.
Welcome back to the City Football Academy. We'll have an intriguing second half set up for us here in round 10 of the Senol NPL Men's Victoria competition. It's 0-0 at the break between Melbourne City and Hume City. Not a great deal of chances going either way. No doubt plenty to discuss in both changing rooms. Things that both sides will be looking to tweak to get a little bit more of a stranglehold on this contest. No changes from either side, it seems, so it'll be as we were from the start. Hume kicking off and now going right to left in their red home kit, and City, of course, in their sky blue going left to right. So I think both sides will be after a little bit more energy, a little bit more impetus in this second half. We'll see if we can find a goal or two, or maybe even more in this second half. Hume went long from the kickoff. Antonio clears it back, and Oldfield will be able to control. City started to get more and more comfortable in possession and playing vertically towards the back end of the first half. Hume really only finding joy with a couple of counter-attacking opportunities. So see if they can develop a bit more of that control in possession that the hosts had, and see what they can create. Get Godfrey DeBelle involved a little bit more through the middle. He had plenty of chances curving his run and getting in down that sort of inside right channel, but not really in the box himself with a chance to score. Curto's ball was cut out by Calms, fell back to him. McIntosh was in there to tackle. Recchia does well in plenty of pressure. Polizuti's back to his goalkeeper. Stuart McDonald must be delighted with the first 45 minutes from Julian Recchia in his maiden senior start. Dropping off the defensive line, finding plenty of space in midfield, confidence to turn and play and get the ball moving forward. Mikovsky with a nice ball between the lines to Polizutis. Beckham Baker now. Now to Boston. Isaiah Boston darts inside, will hit it. And it's skipped under the foot of Addis. Aaron Cartwright was onto it at the back post. Zahi Addis recovered from his initial missed touch. With a crucial sliding block. Aaron Cartwright was destined to come in and fire that shot on target. Roland Balla will have the in-swinging corner. It's a good delivery. Ryan Calms was arriving, and groans of despair from the Melbourne City bench, wondering how the captain didn't make contact with that to put Melbourne City in front. It was a really, really inviting cross from Roland Balla from the corner. Plenty of pace and whip on it towards the 6-yard box. Hume just about managed to clear their lines. Baker. Antonio, who's out on the left-hand side now, and Boston's come to the right. Just a symptom of that corner. We've seen that a couple of times where they've just traded positions momentarily after a corner. That's some really neat football between Boston and Recchia. Aaron Cartwright's now in on the right. Shaping this way and that. Slowed the momentum down a little bit, but he can lift the ball in. It's a good ball to the back post. Roland Balla just, I think, mistimed his run. Looked like he ran past the ball slightly and didn't quite get his jump right, looking for the header. So again, it's more positive football and a good start to this second half for Melbourne City. And they're ready to pounce straight away and press this goal kick. Spink had to go straight back to Oldfield, who scrambled to clear. Hume eventually get out of the press, and Calms makes an important interception. Lovely touch from Cartwright into Polizutis. Baker steps inside. He was looking for the run of Recchia. Spink read it all the way, and a fantastic intervention from the former South Melbourne man. Boston into McIntosh. Nice first time ball to Rekia. He's got Baker with him. Just couldn't reel in Rekia's pass. Coyne gets it to Curter. That's out to Engelhardt on the far side. Engelhardt steps in. He'll open up a little bit of space to shoot, but a tame effort in the end, albeit on target. Straight into Lockie Charles's hands. Antonio ran into a little bit of a cul-de-sac, but got himself out of it. To Nikovsky. Boston. McIntosh didn't quite get that pass right. Coyne to Curter and DeBelle. Chris Engelhardt can take Isaiah Boston on. He just lost his footing. Boston had eyes only for the ball. McIntosh finds a good pull into Polizudis. Just didn't get enough on the attempted little cushion ball into Isaiah Boston. Just followed that run all the way into a right wing position from left back. It's a lovely take from Adisu Bayu. Perhaps guilty of overplaying that one slightly, Hume. Nice little combination initially from Addis and Spink, and looking in midfield for Steve White. Just overhit the pass. Hume struggling to get out initially. City have got such great energy in these defensive moments. Adjusting from their high press to mid-block situations and getting to second balls. Baker can't reel in that pass from Ryan Calms. Godfrey DeBelle's on it on the right wing, picks out a fantastic ball, and excellent goalkeeping from Lockie Charles. Just as Adisu Bayu was shaping to shoot and tap in Godfrey DeBelle's cross into an empty net, Lockie Charles was razor sharp off his line, and a strong hand to get to the ball and push it away. Excellent goalkeeping from the 19-year-old. He's got a really big future here at Melbourne City. They've got such a fantastic crop of young goalkeepers. Of course, James Neuenhausen, who's had a few games in NPL and recently made his A-League men debut, and Patrick Beach, who arrived at the academy a few years ago and has gone on to great things with the first team and in Socceroos camps as well. Charles will have to be alert to this one, and he is right on cue. It was a strong shot from Aidan Coyne on his opposite left foot at the top of the box. Lockie Charles has shown what he can do, claiming or punching crosses. Good one-on-one save from Godfrey DeBelle in the first half. He's been excellent with his feet. And that was a really good diving save to tip it around the post. Curter from the corner again can't beat the first man. That's a few times. Burke and Curter's delivery just hasn't quite been good enough for Hume. Positive couple of minutes for Hume. Reset in possession at the back. Spink just missed White with the pass. Thankfully, Coyne was there to back it up. Addis with a nice turn and looking to push past Aaron Cartwright. Does it really nicely. As Isubeyu was just offside. Must have been a tight decision, but assistant referee Didac Lee wasted no time in raising the flag. City play it quickly, and Cartwright has it here on the near side. Balls with Charles. Antonio's made a little inverted run. Mikovsky finds Cartwright well. He just couldn't connect with Christian Polizoudis. Great movement from Melbourne City in possession. Antonio dropping inside. Polizoudis shifting out. Cartwright coming into feet. Julian Recchia very nearly pinched that clearance from Chris Oldfield. Jaden Nikovsky with a high-intensity press coming all the way from centre-back onto the edge of his own box, but unfortunately just fouling Birkenkerder. Great strength from Nikovsky. Battling with DeBelle. Antonio comes away with it for City. Bit of a scrap between Cartwright, Polizoudis and White for Hume. Melbourne City will have the throw in. Great strength, hold-up play from Polizoudis. Cartwright onto Boston. Looking for the support of Balla. Calms and McIntosh, really well played out of trouble. Charles to Antonio. Bit of time to dribble and then lift it over to Roland Balla. He's onside. Really well defended by Kota Kador. The two number 14s going up against each other. And White helps it onto Kurda. Now Adisubeyu can go 1v1. Hasn't had many, if any, opportunities to face up to the Melbourne City defence this afternoon. Goes back inboard to Stephen White. Calver out to Kador. Coyne. City force, Melbourne City force Hume City all the way back to Chris Oldfield, the Liverpool-born goalkeeper and former Liverpool youth prospect. It's a great flick on from Engelhardt to Kador. A good ball towards the back post. A fantastic leap from Bayu. DeBelle controls. He's got Kurda in support. And Addis. Wag of the finger from Jack Morgan. Hume wanted the foul at the top of the box. Antonio just left the trailing foot out, but Morgan deeming Addis to have gone down a little bit too easily. It's a real threatening position. A fantastic delivery from right to left from Kota Kador. Excellent leap at the back post from Adisubeyu. Godfrey DeBelle probably need a little bit more conviction and could have had an attempt himself on the turn. Instead ended up going backwards and allowed City to get back in defence. Well played by Hume. Kadur gives it away though. Boston intercepts and Baker can turn. Recchia tried the flicked return pass. Didn't quite get solid connection on it. Great presence from Godfrey DeBelle along the front line to put Calms off and ensure his clearance could only find touch. Kadur stole a few extra yards on the throw-in, but he's found Godfrey DeBelle. Good strength from the Hume number 9. Nikovsky was there to meet him, though, and ensure he had nowhere to go. Excellent defending from Jaden Nikovsky, the 18-year-old. Addis wins it back from Cartwright. McIntosh gets in really well on Birkenkoetter. Just past the hour mark. I have to say, a lot of this game has been about the defensive aspect from both sides. Both defending well across their back line and pinching balls in midfield when given the opportunity to do so. Cartwright has a little bit of room. Finds Julian Recchia. And out to Christian Polizoudis. Polizoudis back into Cartwright. Time to shoot. Well off target in the end on his preferred left foot, stepping inside. And we're going to have the first change of the afternoon. It's going to be an attacking one for Melbourne City. And a really productive first senior start for Julian Recchia comes to an end. You can see plenty of flashes of his brilliance and quality along the front line. And Tobias Servant, Melbourne City's number 9, will come on up front in his place. Tobias Servant, who, like Christian Polizoudis, arrived at Melbourne City from Western United. He's a Geelong boy initially, so a long way from home out here in Melbourne Southeast. Gifted athlete too is Tobias Servant. 400-metre runner and hurdler. He'll have around about half an hour with stoppage time included to hopefully grab his first senior goal for Melbourne City. Managed 6 in VPL 1 for Western United last season. Earned a spot on the bench in the Australia Cup round of 32. Western United's last game before hibernation. A 1-0 defeat against Sydney FC. That's brilliant from Baker to keep control of the ball, and somehow it still stayed in play. Unfortunate for Roland Balla, and Hume will have the goal kick. Oldfield's long goal kick is met strongly by Ryan Calms. Antonio into Cartwright. He's just about kept it in on the near side, but out-muscled by Addis. Bayou gathers and goes back to White. Spink. Calver can only find the head of Isaiah Boston. That's a nice touch from Tobias Servant. Holding off his man into Polizoudis. Back to Servant. Baker atop the box. Just held onto the ball a little too long. Beckham Baker, he Might have had the chance to slip in Roland Balla. And tried to come back to Isaiah Boston, but the window had shut on the former Villarreal junior. Polyzudis off. Space has opened up in the middle for Peter Antoniou. The entire Hume defence was looking towards the touchline, and Antoniou would have been in if Polyzudis could have picked him out with the pass. Excellent midfield play from Angus McIntosh, and Aidan Coyne is going to be the third Hume City player to receive a caution. It's his fourth of the season, so the next one will be a suspension. Likewise, Kota Kadur now, after his first half booking, is on 4 yellow cards in 2026 so far. So he'll be having to tread carefully in the weeks to come. Nikovsky, that's a brilliant ball over the top. Space opened up for Cartwright if he could have brought it down. White was on hand to get in his way. Looks like Hume readying their first change. Nick Hegarty just giving some direction to Eiki Tsukamoto. Looks like he's about to come on. Bayou jumps well. His header can only find Angus McIntosh. Back out wide to Peter Antoniou. Cut across Birkenkerda. Really intelligent movement and use of the body from Peter Antoniou. Change the free kick taker, Melbourne City, preferring the left foot of Roland Balla. Dangerous ball in towards Servan. Had it missed Chris Engelhardt, Tobias Servan might have been able to get onto it. Really good shape on that from Roland Balla. Hume again, as they've had to do a couple of times, just scramble and manage to defend and clear the danger in any way they can. Lucky Charles just waiting for Nikovsky to get back in the correct shape. Polyzudis missed his touch, but Antonio's there to win the loose ball. Peter Antoniou saw a little bit of space for Tobias Servan to run into, but his number 9 just not quite on the same wavelength. Good pressing work from Tobias Servan to pressure Braden Spink's attempted clearance. Addis gets a fair bit of distance on his throw, but McIntosh is there to win. Nikovsky lifts it back up. Coyne onto it. Addis and White. And Coyne again shifts it onto Bayou. That's an excellent flicked ball to Birkenkerda. Outside of the foot to Godfrey DeBelle. Bearing down on goal. Godfrey DeBelle smashes it into the roof of the net. And just like that, Hume City hit the front. You'd have to say it's probably against the run of play. Melbourne City had a really positive 5 to 10 minutes in particular. Really, they've been good value, Melbourne City, across the 70 minutes so far. But just that quality that Hume City possess across their front line It was initially really good midfield work from Steve White and Aidan Coyne to bring the ball down. Adisu Bayu's pass unlocked the move. Deft, cushioned flick. Just hooking it inboard to Birkenkerda. Outside of the foot pass into Godfrey DeBelle. And mentioned he hadn't had many opportunities in central areas, Godfrey DeBelle. Presented with one there, probably only his second of the match, and he made absolutely no mistake. Isaiah Boston was scrambling to get back. Lockie Charles was closing down the angle. But DeBelle's finish was powerful, accurate, and a much-needed goal for Hume City. They're looking to respond from 2 straight defeats. Godfrey DeBelle has his first of the season in Hume colours. Recently made his debut for South Sudan just a couple of weeks ago in the last FIFA window. Queensland-born, arrived from Gold Coast Knights. So a couple of changes now for Hume. Mentioned Nick Hegarty was chatting to Eiki Tsukamoto. Looks like perhaps with the opening goal they've changed their minds on that change. And it will be the goal scorer to make way. Godfrey DeBelle's last impact on the game was to open the scoring. And he'll receive the praise of his teammates and staff on the bench as he makes way for Josh Bingham. And Munib Adis comes on in place of Zahi Addis. See if that perhaps we'll see Aidan Coyne drop back into a fullback position. Wait and see how Hume set up after this corner. Balla puts in a good delivery. Adis's first contribution is to head it away. Baker's got Boston with him. He'll go for it again, Beckham Baker. Around Engelhart. Oh, the fancy footwork from Beckham Baker is brilliant. Still in possession, just had to do slightly too much to get away from Kota Kudur. He finds Kurdo, lifting it towards Josh Bingham. There's also a Melbourne City change in the aftermath of that goal, and right on cue, Ben Mazzeo, who came on in place of Aaron Cartwright, is in possession and looking to make an impact. Mazzeo inside. Antonio will pick it up. Polyzoudis. That's a nice reverse ball into Peter Antonio. Sets it on the edge for Beckham Baker. Last-ditch block from Aidan Coyne, who has stayed in midfield. So like for like, Munib Adis coming on at left back. Approaching the final 15 minutes here at Casey Fields. Melbourne City, for all their good work and a couple of chances they've created, the energy they've had all over the park, find themselves 1-0 down and needing to rectify the scoreline if they're to pick up their third win of the season, or at minimum avoid their third defeat of the season. McIntosh is on the ball. Scott Balla out on the left. Mikovsky to Polyzoudis. Mazzeo and Servan. Tried the back heel. Braden Spink was there all the way. Servan makes sure the throw-in is Melbourne City's. Antonio can't quite whip that ball into the middle and keep it in play. Hume City now, you feel, will take as much time as they can over these goal kicks and look to go long. Chris Oldfield, as it stands, on for his second clean sheet of the season. Appearance 299 in the top flight of Victorian football for Chris Oldfield. Appearance number 131 for Hume City, which moves him to outright third in all-time appearances for the club. That's a foul in midfield from Roland Balla on Aidan Coyne, and Roland Balla is going to be shown a yellow card. His first of the season. Unfortunate one, a challenge he had to make as Aidan Coyne was reaching for the ball. Coyne gives it away to Polyzoudis, who presents it back to White. It's a nice ball from Steve White. Adisubayu darting inside. Bingham, first time to Munibatis. Ball across the box. Nikovsky can only clear to Adis, and Charles with a good save with his feet. Good impact from Munibatis, his first chance to get forward from left back. And an excellent first time ball out to find him from Josh Bingham as well. Of course, so experienced and with so much quality and know-how, Josh Bingham. He's motoring towards the middle now as Chris Engelhardt has it. Ball is lifted just over the top of everybody. Bayou can recover. Calva overhit it slightly for White, but plenty of time for him to gather. Bayou can turn, but goes back to White. Spink lifts it up. Seven blocked the ball initially. Shouts for handball, waved away as Adis plays in Bayou. Kurta back to Munibatis. He'll reach it before the byline. Low cross is cleared by Polyzoudis. Mazzeo onto it. Ben Mazzeo hooks it away. Nick Hegarty will be pleased with this spell of possession and ball retention for Hume City. I say, as right on cue, Chris Oldfield knocks the ball out of play. Calm's looking for options. Goes back to his right to Nikovsky. Polyzoudis out to Mazzeo. Hegarty pleased with the defensive work of his number 10, Berkenkurta. A bit of tinkering now from Melbourne City. It could be a three at the back. So Christian Polyzoudis and Isaiah Boston are coming off in a double change. Daniel Matina and Nikola Djurovic are each on for their second appearances of the season. So looking like it could be shift to a back three with Nikola Djurovic joining Ryan Calms and Jaden Nikovsky. Roland Balla moving more central to play alongside Tobias Servin in a dual strike partnership. And Daniel Matina is out on the left-hand side. Peter Antoniou into midfield. And Ben Mazzeo probably has a bit more running to do in a bit of a wing-back position. 10 minutes for Melbourne City to find an equaliser, or for Hume City to kill it off with a second. Jurovic's throw to Calms. Bukowski into Servan. This time the shouts for handball are agreed with by Jack Morgan. Free kick in a good position for Melbourne City. Stuart McDonald encourages his defenders to get in the box and join the attack for this set-piece opportunity. Only Angus McIntosh back behind the ball. Baker stands over it. Went the shot and went straight into the wall. Back to McIntosh. Everyone remains forward for City. Lifted up towards Servan. Spink made the initial clearance. It's a very late whistle from Jack Morgan, back for seemingly for an offside on Tobias Servan on the challenge. And Hume not happy as they felt they had a chance to break. Oldfield's long free kick hung up in the air. Calms rose well. First opportunity for Martina on the ball. Back to Nikovsky. Nikovsky in space. Baker shows the feet. Calms. It's a good third man run from Antonio. Just couldn't bring it down. White was there in front of Servan. Jurovic controls. No handball despite Hume's appeals. Martina to McIntosh. Calms and Jurovic. Gets it out wide to Mazzeo. Asked a lot of Ben Mazzeo to control it, but he did well at the second attempt to challenge with Adis. White now gets it out to Bayou. And Hume can break and look to kill this off. Bayou in behind for Josh Bingham. Excellent ball from Bingham to Birkin-Kurtar. Bearing down on goal, Birkin-Kurtar. That was a curious clearance from Jurovic. Bayou goes to spectacular. Well, a bit happening there in Melbourne City's penalty area. Looked like Birkin-Kurtar was going to find some space to shoot and potentially finish this one off. As it is, City are back the other way and Baker's in the box. Looking for a runner and an option to cross to. Instead, goes himself, wants the penalty. Daniel Martina had the shot as it broke out to him. It's a nice little run from Baker, and there looked like at least a little bit of contact in the penalty area, but not enough for a decision to be made. And no great appeals from Melbourne City either. But a reminder for Hume City, as much as they may want to explode on the counter and try to add a second to kill it off, they'll have to remain switched on at the back. Servan did well to get ahead of Spink as Baker's ball just fell a bit short. He got the first touch on it, but just too heavy, and a little bit of body work from Braden Spink made sure he couldn't get on it. Mazzeo to McIntosh with loads of room in the middle. McIntosh, Peter Antoniou, great ball to the back post. Balla just wasn't there in time. Daniel Martina got there at the back post, but by the time he arrived, it was a tough angle to do anything with. It was really well worked in possession from Melbourne City, and had Roland Balla been a couple of steps ahead, he might have been well placed to finish that chance off and have his 5th goal of the season and a really crucial Melbourne City equaliser. Hume lived to fight another day. You can see that how the wind is affecting those clearances from Chris Oldfield. Nick Hegarty is going to respond to this positive Melbourne City spell with a defensive change as Taylor Shrivers comes on in place of Birkenkoetter. So that's defender on for attacking midfielder. Assumedly would mean it's now a back 5, and indeed Shrivers slots in between Kaddour and Calver as a right centre-back. So it's now Calver in the middle, Spink to his left. Adis and Kaddour flanking that defence. James Jego making sure Melbourne City can get the ball back in quickly, the assistant coach. Bukowski to Martina. Bukowski again. That's a nice ball to Antonio, and a lovely bit of skill. Balla's onto it, on the edge of the box. Mazzeo with time, shifts inside and puts it just wide. What a chance that was for Melbourne City. Peter Antonio with an outstanding bit of skill. First the control, the lift it up, and then the little flick over the defenders' heads. It invited Roland Balla in. Chris Oldfield really for the first time called upon to make a good save. And Ben Mazzeo had the chance to equalise at the back post. Perhaps could have taken the shot on earlier. Instead stepped inside on his left foot and even still came oh so close to finding the bottom corner. He's on it again, Ben Mazzeo. Just stumbled over the ball but keeps it. Nice footwork from McIntosh, but Coyne stuck with him all the way. Bingham and Bayou combine. Bingham down the line to Mooney Batis. Ryan Calms alongside. Excellent strength, brilliant defending Ryan Calms to halt Mooney Batis' run forward. Minute and a half left of normal time. Nikovsky on the ball. Melbourne City continue to push forward. It's out to Jurovic. Looking for a little bit more tempo from Melbourne City. Jurovic lifts a nice ball into the box. Peter Antonio is making the run. Clutching at his hamstring was Peter Antonio. We've seen some incredible late drama all weekend in the Senol NPLM Men Victoria. Is there more to come here in this final match of round 10? Josh Bingham gets around the challenge. Oh, could have been an own goal off Jaden Nikovsky. Instead, his clearance or challenge just bounced off Adisu Bayu and out for a goal kick. City will reload again. We'll wait and see how many minutes of stoppage time Maki Lucaris will show us. Board in hand, ready and waiting. 15 seconds left until the clock reads 90. McIntosh in loads of space. Ball out for Martina was just a little bit short. Bingham asking a fair bit of Coda Cador to go and chase that. It'll be a Melbourne City throw in. And we have 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes for Melbourne City to find a late equaliser. Heidelberg beat Avondale with a late winner. Dandenong Thunder beat Dandenong City with a late winner in the Dandy Derby on Friday night. Latest of late equalisers from Caroline Springs George Cross against Altona Magic last night as well. That one finished 1-1. Georgie's had 7 minutes to get that equaliser compared to City's 4, but plenty of time, plenty of positivity for the hosts to pull one back and earn a point. Chris Oldfield taking all the time he possibly can. It was good body work from Ryan Carmes. He certainly looked like he was fouled by Josh Bingham. Melbourne City incensed at the lack of a decision and just gives Hume an opportunity to eat up more time with this throw-in. Bingham heads on well to Bayou. Jurovic commits the foul and Hume can yet again eat up more time. Just a couple of minutes left. We'll see if this one goes into the box. Well, having said that, there is not a single Hume City player in the box, so there's only one place this is going. Bayou and Bingham over the dead ball, and Bingham will go straight to the corner. Bayou doing his best to assist in shielding. Ada somehow got that under control and kept it in. Mazzeo did take it out of play. Adis with the throw deep in this corner. Great body work from Bingham. Antonio can come away with it. And now Servant. Possible last chance saloon for Melbourne City. Nikovsky will gather. Numbers getting forward for Melbourne City. What can they conjure up? Must be about the final minute of this one. Nikovsky goes short. Carmes looking for some movement forward. Still patient in possession. Nikovsky lifts one. It's a good attempt. Peter Antonio has made a couple of those third man runs from midfield. The ball just carried all the way to Chris Oldfield.